Welcome to this session that covers what's included in the Oracle Utilities Digital Self-Service Transactions Cloud Service. After completing this session, you will be able to understand what is provided with the Oracle Digital Self-Service Transactions Cloud Service, understand maintenance patches and major releases, understand the deployment and network connection options, and finally, you'll understand how to plan for initial provisioning. Let's start by discussing what's included with the Digital Self-Service Transactions Cloud Service. In addition to software-based features, Oracle also provides you with a team that can provide governance and gate review services. Customers are assigned a Customer Success Manager who is your primary point of contact for Oracle Utilities Cloud Services. Customer Success Managers provide incident oversight, quarterly service reports, and cloud service version update planning and scheduling information. They also help identify the appropriate implementation engineers for select cloud service configuration tasks. Gate reviews are provided as part of implementation support services, and they include portal configuration and testing, as well as tier deployments. These reviews are a mandatory prerequisite before live operations begin. The configuration and extension gate reviews seek to maximize solution standardization and to identify obvious performance risks before go live. And operational readiness gate reviews assess customers' readiness for production and ongoing live operate services. In addition to the Customer Success Manager, there are a number of teams working to ensure customer success and satisfaction. The Oracle Utilities SaaS Operations team provides the implementation support and live operate services, including running the gate reviews. Oracle Support provides initial response and triage services to issues arising within the cloud services and also coordinates resolutions internally to any software-related issues. The Oracle Utilities DevOps team is responsible for running cloud services, including the application layer and the underlying infrastructure. And Oracle Utilities Product Development is responsible for the underlying software, for developing fixes and new releases of functionality, and for building, testing, and deploying the Oracle Utilities Cloud services. Customers and implementers interact with the Oracle teams via the Customer Success Manager during planning meetings or escalations. Customers can also interact directly with Oracle Support through service requests submitted through My Oracle Support. The Customer Success Manager and Oracle Support then interact with the other teams as needed to ensure your success. Full backup and restore services are provided and are completely managed by Oracle. This includes full and incremental backups. Oracle provides 60-day retention of backup data for regulatory or other audit-related purposes. Backup files are stored on durable storage as part of the service. Due to the nature of SaaS products, some system operational tasks can only be performed by Oracle, and some of these may require the customer to create a service ticket to request the task be performed. These tasks might include requests for data refresh from production for OPower Insights, requests to promote portal changes from the stage environment to production, and requests to configure portal roles. Oracle continues to work on developing self-service-based replacements for these tasks. By default, each customer instance includes one development, one test, and one production environment. Development environments are smaller, while test environments are full-sized copies of production. The production environment also includes disaster recovery. All production and non-production environments utilize a common Oracle Identity Management instance to manage users and access. Now let's discuss maintenance patches and major releases. The cloud services are maintained by Oracle in two ways. The first is by the use of maintenance patches. This includes core maintenance and application fixes, and is typically applied during the planned maintenance window as specified in the Cloud Service Agreement. critical or emergency patching may be applied at short notice to respond to high-risk issues if they should arise. Then we have major release updates. These updates help you stay current by applying upgrades that provide new functionality. These are scheduled with the customer within the limits prescribed in the cloud service agreements. Be aware that customer-to-meter patches may also be required and are the responsibility of the customer-to-meter administrator. The Oracle Global Business Unit Cloud Services Pillar document states that Oracle requires all cloud services customers to keep their services current with the software versions that Oracle designates as generally available, or GA. Software updates for upgrades will follow the release of every GA release and are required for the services in order to maintain version currency. Oracle Utilities plans to release 2 to 3 GA updates with new functionality per year. These updates are planned in conjunction with the customer and fall within their defined update window. Release levels are numbered by calendar year and sequence letter. For example, 21A is the first release in calendar year 2021. 21B is the second release in the same year, and so on. Whenever a new update is released, the previous GA release version is assigned an end-of-life date that is typically 4 months after the release date of the new update. This effectively gives customers 4 months to move to the latest update version. Typically, a maximum of 2 update release versions will be generally available at any one time, and customers are required to move off the previous version before the stated end-of-life date. The cloud release model procedures and phases are documented in the Digital Self-Service Transactions product overview on the Oracle Help Center, which you can access at docs.oracle.com. You can also access a list of patches that are available for digital self-service and customer-to-meter on My Oracle Support. Currently, the document that includes this information is document ID 2569793.1, which you can access at support.oracle.com. Now let's discuss deployment and network configuration. Let's look at the 3 key components: identity management, credit card payment processing, and secure data in transit, and the options that you have for each of them. For identity management, Seamless Single Sign-On, or SSO, makes it easier for your customers to access the self-service portal. Digital Self-Service supports 2 methods of SSO. The first is Oracle Identity Cloud Service, or IDCS. IDCS provides a seamless integration with the Digital Self-Service portal. When utilities leverage IDCS, their portal provides user registration, a login web page, profile management, password reset, account recovery, strong password policies, and authentication configuration. IDCS is an enterprise-grade identity manager that also allows utilities to secure access to other digital channels, such as a mobile application. Alternatively, you can use a third-party identity management solution for your existing web portal. Digital Self-Service supports single sign-on with third-party identity managers, which means you can continue to use your existing login, registration, and account recovery portal features. Currently, Digital Self-Service supports using SAML 2.0 SSO specification, which relies on standards-based communication between a federation server managed by the utility and the server managed by Oracle Utilities. For more information on either of these identity management options, see the Authentication Configuration Guide in the Digital Self-Service Transactions Library, which is available in the Oracle Help Center at docs.oracle.com. You have 2 options for processing payments. The first is an integration with Paymentus. Paymentus is a provider of secure electronic bill presentment and payment services that includes online, mobile, IVR, text, kiosk, point of sale, and agent-assisted channels, as well as a full range of customer communication options. The Paymentus solution handles one-time and recurring payments, as well as the billing system payment reconciliation. The integration leverages customer-to-meter web services for account verification, one-time payment notification, and auto-pay setup. The integration uses batch processing for AutoPay to extract files from the Oracle Utilities customer-to-meter system and also to send AutoPay confirmations and cancellation batch files back to the Oracle Utilities customer-to-meter system. Alternatively, you can use a utility-provided secure web form from another payment processor. If you select this option, Digital Self-Service can implement a secure redirect to your payment processor. The payment processor will be responsible for processing one-time and auto-payment batches and for sending payment confirmations and payment errors back to the customer-to-meter system. For more information on the Paymentus integration, visit the Oracle Help Center at docs.oracle.com and search for Paymentus. Lastly, let's discuss secure data. If your customer-to-meter system is hosted outside of the Oracle Cloud, Oracle recommends a secure protocol to connect to the customer-to-meter system. The two recommended options are mutual transport layer security or using Oracle Cloud Infrastructure to establish an IPsec connection to your third-party or on-premise data center. Digital Self-Service uses customer-to-meter APIs to present data and execute transactions. Digital Self-Service supports multiple options to secure data in transit. Oracle recommends the use of secure protocols that offer authentication and confidentiality, such as Transport Layer Security or IPsec, to reduce the risk of data tampering or loss. MTLS can be used to secure connections to third-party data centers or connections to other OCI regions in the world that the utility may use to host their customer-to-meter system. MTLS facilitates API interactions from Digital Self-Service to customer-to-meter over TLS. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure provides site-to-site connectivity using VPN Connect. VPN Connect provides a site-to-site IPsec VPN between your on-premise network and Digital Self-Service. Digital Self-Service leverages an OCI Virtual Cloud Network, or VCN. The IPsec protocol suite encrypts IP traffic before the packets are transferred from the source to the destination and decrypts the traffic when it arrives. Also note that the Digital Self-Service to Customer Cloud Service is a secure connection within the Oracle Data Center. If you decide to secure data in transit using IPsec, you will need to establish an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure account. If you have an existing account, you must establish a tenancy in the OCI Ashburn region. If you do not have an OCI Cloud account, your Customer Success Manager will work with you to establish an OCI account. Typically, the following types of personnel are involved in setting up an IPsec VPN with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. First, an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Cloud Account Administrator who understands the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure console. They will set up the cloud components required for the virtual network and IPsec VPN. They will also set up the required networking objects in the utility's Oracle Cloud Infrastructure tenancy. This setup is required in order to establish a secure connection between the Oracle Utilities network supporting Digital Self-Service transactions and the utilities network. A network engineer will also be needed. They will configure the customer premises equipment, or CPE device, with the information provided by the OCI Cloud Account Administrator. Oracle will guide you through this process. When it is complete, the Oracle Cloud Administrator will receive an activation email. Before starting the setup, a tenancy must be established using the OCI Ashburn region. If your tenancy does not use OCI Ashburn as the home region, ensure the tenancy is subscribed to the Ashburn region. After the tenancy is properly established, your OCI administrator will set up the required networking objects. Your administrator will need to configure a compartment to organize the networking resources you will use to configure the secure connection. You must also create a policy to control access to networking resources within your compartment. Then, you will configure a virtual cloud network, or VCN, and the subnets. which are software-defined networks that you set up. Routing will also need to be configured to route traffic from OCI to the customer-to-meter system. This entire process is outlined in detail in the Digital Self-Service Transactions Configuration Guide, which is available in the Oracle Help Center at docs.oracle.com. Now let's discuss provisioning. Let's talk about early provisioning milestones, which include cloud provisioning, networking setup, and base configuration. After the order is finalized, Oracle DevOps will start the provisioning process. Oracle will provision 3 instances of the portal and IDCS. You will receive an email with the URLs to the services after the provisioning is complete. After the cloud software is provisioned, you will work with the Oracle Customer Success Manager and SaaS operations team to connect the digital self-service portal instances to your IDCS instances and your customer-to-meter instances. After secure connections are established, configuration of the portal can begin. The digital self-service portal relies on customer-to-meter APIs to present data and execute transactions. There are several setup steps in the customer-to-meter system that must be completed. Your customer-to-meter administrator will need to install the digital self-service patches, complete the basic feature configuration, and conduct a walkthrough of the base portal. Customer-to-meter patches may not be required if you are using the latest version of customer-to-meter or you're using Oracle Utilities Customer Cloud Service. You can use this information as a checklist for initial provisioning. The list includes each activity and task you need to complete and identifies the owner of each task. Details of the entire configuration process are available in the Digital Self-Service Transactions Configuration Guide, which is available in the Oracle Help Center at docs.oracle.com. We've come to the end of this session. Today, you learned about what's included in the Oracle Utilities Digital Self-Service Transactions Cloud Service. You learned about how Oracle will support your implementation and your ongoing operations. You understand the different deployment options for identity management, credit card processing, and network connection. And you understand the process for provisioning digital self-service transactions and configuring initial integrations with your customer-to-meter and identity management instances. We hope that this information has been useful and that it can help you be successful with your implementation of the Digital Self-Service Transactions Cloud Service. Thanks for watching and have a great day.